I suffer from a lot of analysis paralysis. If I have a lot of things going on and say I need to work on a new YouTube video, I have to work on a certain amount of hours on doing illustration studies and animation studies for a show. I have to rewrite a draft of the script that I'm working on. I have to edit someone else's video, whatever. There's just not enough time in a single day to do any of those things. I definitely need large blocks of time to work on a project. And so I can't do them all in one day. So I have to dedicate some days to one thing and then some days to another thing. It's kind of a lose-lose scenario. One day you're pushing the needle a little bit forward in one assignment or project or idea, but that same day you are neglecting this also very important, just as important, if not more important thing to the side. And then that makes you go, oh, but I really I shouldn't be doing this thing, I should be doing this other thing. And so then the next day you do that thing, but you also really need to work on this thing. Regardless of what you do, you're neglecting something important and you're always in a perpetual state of guilt for the task that you are working on. I've been working out lately, every morning. I've been waking up at 4:30 in the morning every single day, and I've been doing at least 40 minutes to a little over an hour of working out a day. And the only reason I've been able to do this is because of my buddy Eros. I've been trying his routine and his schedule, his morning bird or his early bird schedule. And it's been really, really awesome. I've been able to consistently wake up at 4 in the morning and get a workout in for almost 2 months now, pretty consistently. But being able to go to his house and then go for a run at 5 in the morning sharp is really good motivation for me to crawl out of bed even when I really don't want to.
Eros and I just ran a mile, but work keep going on.
Hoorah!
For 2. They don't know me, son. They don't know us, son.
Who's gonna carry the boat?
Who's gonna carry the dogs? We're schizophrenic.
And I've always thought that I am like, oh, I'm a natural night owl, and oh my God, and I can't be a morning bird. I work the best at night because that's when everyone is like asleep and I'm like in my own world. And then this past couple months has really proven to me that that's all a load of horseshit. It's weird going from a chronic night owl into suddenly a functional early bird. It's really weird, and it's even weirder that once you kind of get through that first little hurdle, you actually become productive in the daytime. And you actually become tired as the sun goes down, and you can actually get things done. And surprise, surprise, you're actually like in a better mood all the time. You're exercising more, you feel better about yourself, your mood's better, although it's not great, it's better. It's weird. It's like people walking around who just like wake up in the mornings and do their job. It's like they actually feel good, and they're not like pretending. I'm making an animated series, and first I need to relearn how to draw. It's a long ways to go, but I'm relearning how to draw. I used to be really good at it. I used to draw all the time. I used to paint, but I stopped for 10 years now, and I've been relearning how to draw for a little while now, and I'm just doing studies every single day. I'm trying to get to the point at the end of this week where I can just like draw basic scenes from imagination. Right now I'm not focused on style and beauty. I'm more focused on being able to get perspective, in essence what I would imagine a shot being like on camera. Again, I'm a filmmaker first and foremost, and the scripts that I've written are way too ambitious in scope to be able to actually produce them live action. They would cost tens of millions of dollars on the cheap end. And I am sick and tired of not making these stories because I don't have the budget for them, and I have to make a proof of concept and then I have to dumb it down and change it because I can't even afford to make a short film proof of concept of this movie or show idea that I have. I have a few friends who are authors, and I'd always been so jealous of them because they're able to have this awesome story and they could just write for like a year and a half And then, yeah, they spend some money and they have to coordinate a little bit of like getting a book cover and then working with a publisher and then publishing it and then marketing it. But at the end of the day, the final work of art can just be done with a computer, and that's it, and a word processor. If you really, really wanted to get it out there, you could make it into an ebook PDF and people could still experience that work. I was always jealous of these friends because they would always be like, oh, I have this idea for a story. Let me just write it down, and a year and a half or 2 years later, it would be done and they could just put it out. Whereas if I had an idea, I would start writing a script, and then I'd be like, I can't afford to make that, so let me change it. And then eventually it would be this feature idea, this grand adventure, and then it'd be dumbed down to like a little micro short film that I can't really afford to make. And even spending all the money that I've saved up over the course of 6 months to a year, I then spend it on an Airbnb and some junk food pizza, and then I have my friends help me out for free because they owe me some favors because I did something for them, or I'm gonna owe them a favor later or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't want to call favors anymore telling my stories. I've been curious about animation for the longest time, and so I've been studying it a lot over the past year. And once I finish these studies, which I'm going to spend the next 6 months, probably I have scheduled to work on the studies and do illustrations and work on the concept art and getting ideas and really design the world, because I have it in my head, but I don't want to just go into it and make it. I want to actually design this. And that's the reason why I want to go into animation, is because I, like my novelist friends, can just come up with an idea and make it. And like, yeah, I'll spend a lot of time animating. I might have to hire I'm going to hire voice actors, which is money. I'm gonna have to get a voice booth, which is money. I'm gonna work with a composer, which is money. But it's not like I have to spend money securing locations, and I have to spend money for months of time and then expect people to do that for free for long hours. And nevertheless, I'd have to spend even more money to make the conditions barely workable. So I don't have the money, so then it would be not workable at all, and people are spending their free hours working for you for a long. It's like, at that point, it's like you can't make the production. You can't make the production without like friends who you already haven't called too many favors for. You can only call favors from your friends only so many times, which is why I like to do favors to my friends for their creative projects, because if I want a favor from them, I want to make sure that I can reciprocate that. And the idea of independent filmmakers, they always say, oh, well, you have this space thing or sci-fi, whatever. What if you reduced the idea to its essential components and made it about something else on Earth? It's like, okay, yeah, awesome, I've done that. But I want to tell that father-son story, but I want to tell it in fucking outer space. It's like, when can I do that, huh? Am I gonna wait for the mercy of some executive at a studio or a streamer or whatever, or a network to give me tens of millions of dollars to do that? Or can I find a way to do that relatively on my own and for relatively cheap? It might take more time. It might take me, it might take throwing myself into learning new disciplines or relearning old disciplines that I've lost and forgotten. But if that's what it's gonna take to make the stories that I wanna make, by all means, I'm gonna do that. Finishing this new draft of the scripts, so far it's about 5 episodes now. And then I have to also focus on my YouTube videos. I wanna make more YouTube videos because I think they're really fun, and I miss making videos and having like my internet friends comment on them and keep up with what I'm up to and my creative projects, and I can keep up with what they're doing. And it's like, there was a little community of internet friends that I had that, back when I was making YouTube videos more often, and I miss that, and I want to have that more. So my life currently is just a perpetual state of that noise in my head constantly, and it's been that way most of my life, especially most of my professional life, but it's starting to simmer down a little bit. Breaking my routine down, waking up in the morning, getting a good workout in, and then having 2 major chunks of work time in the day. Morning work and then afternoon work. I also got these new shelves installed in my studio. I have this one, which is all of my coffee table books, filmmaking, and also just concept art. I have another concept art book coming in tomorrow. I have this shelf here, which is some magazines and narrative books, as well as Dunkirk there. And then my old Brownie camera, and then my first ever like actual, well, not my first ever, but this is my old Lumix camera that I used to use all the time. And then this is the most important one of them all, is this is my desk organization shelf. I love working with books. I don't really like digital notes. Like I tried Notion for a while because it's trendy and everyone's doing Notion, but I couldn't handle Notion. I thought it was just like such a headache to try and use it, but it just comes natural to me to write on the page on a notebook, whether it be like an actual like workbook or a personal journal or scheduling. That's what this is for. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to drawing because I have to. Okay.